2회 고난도 미니 모의고사
Number 1. To deal with children's misbehavior, parents often focus on the children themselves, identifying their potential problems and contemplating which forms of treatment might be best to treat them. This type of approach can be useful in cases in which children are suffering from some specific emotional disorders, but it fails to take into account the significant role played by the environment surrounding a child. The appeal of such a reaction to misbehavior might be related to the busy lives of modern parents, who no longer seem to have as much time to devote to their children. They are therefore eager to find a quick and easy answer to the behavioral issues of their children. However, by focusing on their children rather than their children's surroundings in their search for the best solution, the issue unfortunately becomes how to fix the child instead of how the conditions in which the child is being raised can be improved.
Number 2. Metaphor plays an important role in people's understanding of their social and political reality. It is one of the fundamental ways in which we make sense of the world around us. However, philosophy tends to treat metaphors simply as expressions of the poetic imagination. Philosophers have mainly focused on whether or not it is possible for such linguistic constructs to be true. This concern with truth is rooted in the notion of objectivity. For the philosophers, truth is something that is absolute and measurable, and the typical conclusion when it comes to metaphors is that they can only provide access to truth indirectly. In other words, they must be paraphrased into direct and literal statements in order to be true. However, the very idea that there is an objective, absolute truth is mistaken. In reality, truth must always be defined in a conceptual system that itself always relies on metaphor.
Number 3. Science tells us that all objects are made visible by means of light. In particular, white light is composed of all the colors in the solar spectrum and shows things in what may be called their natural state. This can be seen in a rainbow, widely known to be caused by the sun's rays being split up into their component parts. This light travels in straight lines and, upon striking objects before us, is reflected in all directions. Some of these rays, passing through a point situated behind the lens of the eye, strike the retina. When these rays of light are reflected by an object, they each undergo a certain modification. Should the object be a red one, all rays except red are absorbed by it, while the red ones are allowed to escape. These red rays strike the retina and produce certain effects, which convey to our consciousness the singular sensation of red.
Number 4. The term hyperbolic discounting refers to behavior in which people choose a small reward now over a larger reward in the future. That is, they act impulsively rather than choosing to wait. Some financial businesses are based on this tendency, relying on the fact that most people are willing to borrow money now and pay back a larger amount later. As credit is so readily available in our society, it has become rare for people to save up money to buy what they want. Also, hyperbolic discounting can be observed in our personal lives. For example, an overweight person on a diet may look forward to the reward of being slim, but when offered the immediate but smaller satisfaction of eating a piece of cake, he or she is likely to choose it. It has been observed that humans tend to disregard the future in favor of the present. Hyperbolic discounting may be the cognitive cause of this temporal short-sightedness.
Number 5. It may seem like having more choices is better for us and can make us happier. But actually, even though having few choices is problematic, having too many can be paralyzing. This is referred to as choice overload, which asserts that a thirsty and hungry mule would die if it had to choose a bucket of water or a pile of hay. Scientists have been trying to prove the hypothesis that one of the two outcomes results from having too many choices. We are either too overwhelmed to decide on any option, or we wind up unsatisfied with what we chose because we think that another option may have been better. Thus, when it comes to using our freedom to make choices, a number of psychologists have argued that less is more.